guys of the show. I appreciate you guys coming on here. Especially
absolutely.
Welcome back.
Have me. Thanks for having us, man.
Blessing,
you
man.
can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine, brother. Just fine.
No issues. Well, before we start this video, let us start by saying we are not financial advisors, nor is this financial advice whatsoever. Do not invest in anything solely based off our opinions or anything that we say in this video until we've done your own due diligence and your own research first. Never throw in more money than you're willing to lose, and also make sure you have a firm understanding of crypto before throwing in any kind of money. So as you can see, we have another interview lined up. We have the intellectual crypto B-boy. Thanks for being here, brother. And then we have the phenomenal One King. How you brothers doing?
Good.
Yeah, so we were just chit-chatting before you got on, just talking about some of the things going on in the world. Obviously these implosions, banks, things of that sort. What's your thoughts on what's going on?
Well, like I was saying, my thoughts on the whole situation. Like I said, I find it funny that all of this stuff is happening, right? With the court case and XRP, and there's a liquidity crisis happening right now. Worldwide, like banks are just going down, and everything's just like looking crazy right now, and we're stuck in a multi-year lawsuit. And I don't think that it's just a coincidence that that's happening. You know what I'm saying? We all know XRP is a liquidity token, right? And obviously, there's capital, just sitting around that can actually be, being utilized, right? And I think what we're dealing with here in the U.S. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I know it's somewhere in the 30s as far as debt. Like 30 some $1 trillion.
Yeah, that's about right.
And then we have, all this money pre-funded, like tied up into these pre-funded accounts or whatever. Like what, tens of trillions of dollars as well, right?
I think it's like
it's very large.
Trillion, something like that.
Yeah. So it's like, I feel like it's all for a reason, man. And we need clarity with XRP, right? We need clarity so that we can get this boat moving. We can get this thing moving and get some things going here. But I feel like they want to destroy, this legacy system, which is the old traditional way of doing things. The banks are going down. People are getting scared, right, out of the banking system, and it's all by design, man. That's what I think is going on. But had we got to participate in that last run up, because like I said, all of this stuff before the other brother in here got on, had we got to participate in the last run up, with the C-19 and all of that stuff going on, we were slapped with a lawsuit. Like when all the free money and all of that stuff was getting handed out, I feel like all of these government entities, the Federal Reserve and all of those guys knew exactly what was getting ready to happen, with rates going up and all of that stuff, inflation and everything of that nature. And, they put us in a lawsuit and then let this whole legacy system just run wild, and people get screwed. And here we are. And they're waiting till the thing implodes so bad, I feel like, until they're waiting for it to implode so bad to where it's like they ain't gonna have no choice but to let the beast out of the cage, so to speak. And then boom.
Solution. Yep. I like
exactly.
That philosophy. I agree.
Right.
Wholeheartedly. And they are systemically crashing the system. And it's crazy to see, like, mass media is not really covering this type thing. You'll hear things here and there. Obviously, if you're on like Twitter, things of that sort. Oh, this bank went down today. Oh, that bank went down. Silicon Valley, Signature, like these are major banks, and it's not, small fry banks. But, people are still distracted by everything else going on. Hey, look at this on this side. Meanwhile, on this side, there's a brand new system being built purely under people's noses. So it's pretty mind blowing. People don't see that at this point. But it is what it is. Like I said, there's a 1%, 99%. It is what it is.
It's crazy. I appreciate you guys letting me come on and everything. Sorry I got in late. And thanks, man, King. He dropped it real good just now. Pretty much. My scenario is like I actually took from this guy Alan from Staple Crew. I don't know if you guys watched him. Old head. He's good. He hit something. He's dropping it. And he brought something like from a guy that he knew, or he had some connection with, that he would have some dealings with. And he brought a kind of symbolic scenario, and it was called how everything came together in this whole issues from start to now. With the system, with the powers that be, as we say. He was, it was the saying, it was, I think it's 4 things or 3 things, if I can remember. It says,
Yeah, it
first
was
they
the 4.
ignore you. Yeah. And then they make fun of you, if I'm correct, I'm paraphrasing. And then they warn against you because, you know, at first they was ignoring you because, you know, the crypto space wasn't really anything. Bitcoin was barely, you know, doing what it was doing. And then the other cryptos started following behind. But as everything gained, you know, speed and more innovation, more, you know, more adoption. And then that's when we came to that point where now we got to warn because people are adopting this thing, and you know they're getting involved. And in XRP, forget it. That was like in a time where we were like the fight is starting. You know what I'm saying? When the case came in, Gary was getting put in his position. It was like I also use another scenario like on a I guess you can call it a genre of Star Wars. You know, you had the Sith Lord, and he was underhandedly acting like he was part of the Republic and part of it. But then he comes in and he shows his real true colors. You know what I'm saying? And starts going after everybody, and you know, near kills off all the Jedi. You know what I'm saying? All the good people, so called, in the movie. So basically, it's like all the good people who are trying to make changes and do right, we get attacked, you know, and we're trying to do right for humanity on a you know, monetary scale, changing the flow of how distribution of wealth is to where everybody can basically be on a fair level, being able to have money the way everybody else has, that are able to buy whatever they want to buy, you know, or live wherever they want to live and not live and have to worry about poverty, you know, some stuff like this. So when Bitcoin came around, everything down the line is just got to where we at now, the attack, you know, it's like crypto wars, everything is after. So, and like my man King was saying, stuff is just planned, you know. It was, for me, it was a stalling tactic, you know, with the court case, you know, because they had to push everything back, and so they can facilitate their actions with CBDCs or so forth, because the testing was probably going on then. You know, we got to look at the fact that the government, or let's not say that, but you know, the people in powers that be, they do things ahead of time, and they have their you know, their offices or committees that they discuss things before, like years before stuff comes out into public. So we know that, you know what I mean? So now, like even with the case, people were, even some of us, you know, YouTubers and content creators was talking, like I could say for one, digital asset investor, before he really got into, and shout outs to him because he drops a lot of good stuff too. Before he got into like his so-called, they say, conspiracy talk and stuff like that, or going into the rabbit hole, they were saying, well, they wasn't sure about what this case was going to be. They didn't know how Gary Gensler was going to come in and what was he going to do. And to where we at now with enforcement, everything is, you know, regulating by enforcement, not coming in and giving people clarity, regulatory clarity. So it's all a stall, you know, and a lot of us are, you know, like some people are afraid, like King said, but a lot of frustration, you know. So we're trying to get past that and see what we can do to better the situation, you know, how to maneuver. And like for me, being an entrepreneur, I come into the scene more from an entrepreneur position, a business position, and investing in crypto for, you know, extra flow of income. But it got beyond that, you know, at this point in time. I'm not going to keep it too long mentioning, but briefly. So I had that outlook of doing more than just relying on the price or for it to go up, which we probably will discuss later and so forth, and just to get the money, but to get into even business areas that the different opportunities that there in the crypto space, you know. So it's great, but also it's a lot of you know, things that we can do in the future, but it's also this stifling situation at hand. So we're just waiting for this case now, who is in hands of Taurus. You know, she's like the last one on the field, ready to throw that strike, or you know what I mean, strike them out or something. We hope. SEC.
You know, and this technology is definitely here to stay, you know, and we're not just talking about XRP. Obviously, there's other digital assets that I think will probably be around as well. Bitcoin will probably still be around 9 times out of 10. It was the first, you know, first isn't always necessarily the best. Typically, you know, with different technologies, you build on top of that technology. So it's always great to see, how time progresses and how it starts getting implemented in some of these institutions, things of that sort. And, we're pretty much at the beginning stages. We're basically the innovators in regards to this. We're catching on to this, trying to get word out to people. Hey, do your own research, check these things out. This is literally a brand new asset class that is basically untouched. I mean, right now it's, unregulated, however you want to look at it. It's a young market. But I think at some point, it is going to become a regulated market and things are going to change. All these wild swings, all these pump and dumps, that sort are probably not going to be there, in the long run. Just my thoughts, like I said. But this lawsuit is definitely big, though. I definitely think it's big. And hopefully it's over soon. We shall see. But, it's all about your patience level, too, because a lot of people aren't patient. And they're like, oh, I just want price. I just want this. And it's like, you have to understand the technology behind it and why it's going to be important in the future and how it's literally going to drive like the economy, finance, things of that sort. So, that's why I have, diamond hands, however you want to look at it. I hope you guys do too, like I said, but, make the best decision for yourself. So, what's your thoughts in regards to, ETHgate, things of that sort? If you guys want to touch on that, that's up to you. If not, I understand totally. So do you guys feel like, you think Ethereum's next, or what do you think's going on in regards to that? Bitcoin,
Ethereum's definitely next. Gary Gensler's already talking about it as a security. He's going to come after everything. I think he's going to come after everything that he possibly can.
A lot of these technologies got free roam, and they got to just run and do whatever they wanted to do, right? Obviously, the market's still speculative, like most people like to call it the Wild Wild West. Mm-hmm. But as regulation comes into the market, we got to understand though a lot of these cryptocurrencies they're gonna feel that pressure, man, and dealing with a person like Gary, man, you see what he's doing now. He's wrecking ship, So I think a lot of people that are eating right now off of a lot of specifically Ethereum and Bitcoin and that kind of stuff. I think they're gonna have their day, man, because these folks they want to rob us, man. I mean, that's what they're doing. They want to rob us. What I think they're doing, what I think is going on with XRP, and how most people won't benefit from XRP, and I've been saying this, even if you go back and look at some of my older videos, is with the rising cost of living, right? And then obviously, they're pushing for more people to lose jobs and things of that nature, right? So people are just gonna want to just have like the necessities, right, just to survive, which is shelter, food, transportation, and that nature, right? So at the end of the day, most people that are holding on and trying to hold on, to what they hold with XRP, is almost like they'll be forced. People have families, people have kids, wives, and things of that nature, man. It's like it's sad, you see what's going on. They want people, they
relinquish their bags.
Yeah, they don't want to have these bags.
It's listed for a reason. The lawsuit happened for a reason. We're still going through the hardships of holding this asset, right? But we understand what we have here. So most of us is like, we don't even think about it. We don't even think twice, right?
Nope.
But most people, man, I'm just saying, like they're gonna fall by the wayside, unfortunately. Yeah. We can see it playing out.
Give me a percentage. How many people do you think will be here in game once all of this is said and done?
Like ISO Gold said earlier, we're still a very small minority of people, in the asset. But given all of us that are actually holding it, man, it ain't gonna be a lot. And I can't really give you
over the time.
It's just it's less than 1% already. So a percentage of that, everybody ain't gonna make it. Just being honest, transparent, not being around the bush.
It's gonna decrease out of that. Know that.
Yeah, and people aren't patient too. Like, I mean, I get it though. Life does happen and it comes at you fast too, especially when everything's on. They keep raising these basis points, things of that sort. Inflation. It's hitting some people pretty hard. So I understand that sentiment wholeheartedly. And I do think it is a coordinated effort, different techniques that they're using in order to get people out of the asset or out of the crypto space specifically. So that way they can come in, swoop it, hand it over to, the big old boys, however you want to look at it. That way they can regulate this market. And hey, now guess what? You can come down to our bank and we can offer this to you. You get a certain percentage in regards to it. But it's like, I thought crypto was a scam. Well, crypto maybe, but digital assets with utility solving a real world problem, I think are going to be here in the long run. That's just my thought on that. But,
I think that's what they call these assets, financial instruments, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. And verbiage
Right.
matters too. That's another thing, not to chime in, but it's like they say it in such a clouded way so that way the typical lay person is going to read that like, oh, okay, so crypto is all, a fake, it's a fraud. I'm just going to sell
Yeah.
everything. And
That's
it's
just a
like,
facade.
you got to do the
That's just a
research.
facade. Yeah, that's just
Right,
a
right.
facade.
They do that. It's a play on words. It's literally a play on words. Like some of these documents that come, like, even from the World Bank, the IMF, the World Economic Forum. I mean, at this point, they pretty much telegraph what they're going to do in regards to things. Like they have like lists of things. So it's like, if you check out their website, like, they will literally tell you some of the things that may come in the future. Maybe we have cyber attacks. Like there's probably other things coming. That's just my opinion. Like I said, probably more.
How do you protect yourself from a cyber attack? Of a so-called cyber attack, how would you protect yourself? Like, would your crypto assets even be safe on your ledger, your hard wallet, or wherever you're keeping them in general? Do you think that could get compromised as well, or what? Like, how would you prepare yourself for that as well? Because it's gonna happen.
It's your keys. It's your keys on the ledger or whatever you have. But as far as them hitting the network, that might be a whole nother story. You know what I'm saying? But for us to be able to, like, off board and try to get money at that time, it'd probably be difficult at that time, to do that, to try to get, transfer into cash or however, whatever we're going to transfer it into, CBDC.
Right.
Wallet.
And the dollar ain't looking too hot. De-dollarization. The BRICS are taking advantage of that for sure. This whole.
Oh yeah. That I would like. That's something I've been following BRICS for a while, and I mean they're just continuously going forward, building, and it's almost like you can't even keep up. There are more countries coming in, trying to become into the membership of the BRICS nations, and they calling themselves BRICS Plus due to that. And you just, for me, I have two ways that I look at it, and I'm like, I look at it in a good way, but then I look at it in a bad way because I'm an American, and I want good for my country where I was born. I'm living still,
right.
But at the same time, the trust in the country and it's the rule, the people who are supposed to look out for us, the people who are the overseers of what's going on in the betterment of mankind in this country, particular, and liberty and pursuit of justice, right? All of these areas are being in doubt, So like you want to see something different now, because either these people here change up and get it together and do right by us, or maybe I might have to look outside. I mean, look at the business, look at the fintech companies. This is what's going on now. They're even sending like hints, like Armstrong, I think, or Coinbase showed an advertisement where it was showing like, well, maybe we need to move. The hint to me is that maybe we need to go to other areas of outside of the box, outside of where we're at, because America is not really allowing that innovation to go there with fintech companies and the industry of digital asset development. It's crazy. So even with you as a person living in the country, you're like, wow, maybe the BRICS nations, I might have to go somewhere in one of those.
Hey, I might have to
and,
get my passport.
Have dual citizenship. You know what I'm saying?
So, yeah, I know people have talked about dual citizenship thing, and like they are definitely the United States. I don't know what they have going on, but they are stifling innovation like I don't know what. I mean, I think it's coordinated. I think at some point they'll probably get their marbles in a row. But right now they're just like, all right, we'll do it tomorrow. All right, yeah, we'll do it tomorrow. All right, we'll have regs this week.
Yeah.
This month. You know what? Maybe 2025. That sounds better. That sounds better.
And even Coinbase is telling them to get their act together. They're like,
yeah,
don't for last. Update the system.
Already have it.
Like, come on now.
It's mind blowing at this point, and a lot of these high level people probably don't understand the technology. Some might, I don't know. Obviously there's some people like Emmer that try to explain like, hey, this is groundbreaking technology, but it's like others are like, no, I'm kind of comfortable with the status quo. Yeah. Obviously, money involved in regards to this too. So it's like,
yeah, they're from traditional, finance and wealth. They're at the top, like Warren Buffett. These guys, these old guys. They used to what they was raised up in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But so at the same time, they probably have some investment in from other ends, and they're really not, putting it out there publicly too.
They have some exposure. Some exposure. I think Warren Buffett is invested in a crypto friendly bank. Is it New Bank? I think it's New Bank. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
don't quote me. I'll check that. But yeah, they're invested in companies that have exposure. So I think they understand
Bank of
the
America.
technology.
Bank of America is one of them for sure. I know that for a fact. He owns like a lot of Bank of America.
I wonder, are we purposely like trying to lose that world reserve status or that superpower status, right? Because like we got an asset like XRP, and we know like obviously most of that is obviously locked up. The XRP is owned by Ripple, the company, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know there's been talks about the what is it, the not the, is it the Federal Reserve or the
IMF?
Yeah. Them getting their hands on most of it, right?
Oh, I've heard that.
I heard about that. So I'm thinking like, are we purposely like trying to lose that superpower? Then you hear about all these other countries that are coming out with their own little digital versions of money. Everybody's trying to get off the dollar. You see the dollar coming, and then you see over here is like these guys aren't trying to give us clarity in the space,
right?
But it's like still there's still funding printing money like infinity and beyond, which is obviously weighing on our economy here,
right?
And then you got all of these other nations, right, that are just moving forward with this technology or blockchain, and they're all creating their own little versions or own little cryptos, or not cryptos, but you know what I'm saying, their own little their currencies and stuff like that, CBCs and all that stuff, and they're innovating, right? And they're going to be thriving when all this is said and done. And it's like we're still not showing up to the party.
Right, we ain't even there yet, boy.
It's like for me, I gotta without going in deep into the rabbit hole, I call it all part of the plan, right? And these things have been done, and like I said, without going into the rabbit hole, there's more things at the top and more people involved, And even my man Alan did something recently, and man, he dropped some jewels, and I was like, wow, that's true. It's not just one particular entity of who's doing all this stifling, who's doing all this stuff. One part of the plan is scenario. It's a lot of other people going up against each other to compete to gain control over the distribution of wealth on a high level scale.
They all want to slice.
So without getting deep into it, but the basic thing is that they transfer, as you see with the banking issues, they're transferring, and the transferring of the wealth is going on right now as we speak. That stuff is happening. So we just gotta be staying on that train and not fall off, or the boat, stay on it, and do not allow them to fool us with these words and these codings and the way they speak, and to try to throw people off, and that's basically it. The people got to stay put.
Kick your feet up and enjoy the show, literally, because there's gonna be 40 minutes coming, and it might get worse. Like I said, I think it's probably gonna get worse before it gets better. Yeah, that's just my opinion.
I agree, man.
I agree.
Plan accordingly. Quick.
I don't know what happened.
Back in action.
Internet.
My whole theory, I feel like obviously they're gonna crush this thing so bad to where it's like obviously people, you're gonna be out of jobs, people gonna be losing, more people gonna lose their homes and livelihoods, money, more banks gonna go down, and all this other stuff. People gonna be fighting each other, rioting, tearing stuff up, and people basically gonna be begging, for something else. I feel like they're gonna already have this in the works, and I feel like it'll be something simple. Whereas like they got everybody's got a smartphone. It's like download this app, and here's money. We're gonna airdrop money, because obviously it's gonna be a digital version of the dollar, right? They'll be able to do whatever they will with it. Like now, I think that's obviously further down the line as far as like them being able to like program it, and the money expires, and stuff like that. But obviously I do see that happening. I mean, we live in a freaking, I don't even know what to call it, but it's like corrupt.
There's so many different.
No, you said it right. You said it right.
There's so much corruption, man, and manipulation going on, man, and it's crazy. But I feel like that's what's gonna happen. It's be something where you can download, obviously the Fed now, and then boom, airdrop it. Here you go. Here's the money, and do what you will with it. You got X amount of time to spend it, and you can only buy X, Y, and Z and whatever. So I feel like people are going to beg for it because that's how bad the economy is going to get here.
They're going to probably do, because like for me, my point of view of it is like how they did. It's going to be, I feel it could be any, like several scenarios, but one main that I see is that what they, from the patterns and how they do things, how the government does things in relation to the IRS, how they did with the monies, the extra monies when the pandemic happened, and it was, you know, issuing and pumping out the money, printing as much, all this extra money, and would cause even more of the deficit and debt, you know, on our economy. But they pumped that out through the IRS and sent extra checks, and people were getting them, and then people had to learn. I mean, even go online and get tutorials and how to, you know, navigate and be able to get their money, whether it was going to be on Cash App, whether it's going to be coming directly through their, you know, along with their tax refund, you know, all different types of scenarios. So I think it's going to probably go like that in a sense, and then after that is going to be the post issues, you know, of people going to be bugging out, and you know, it's stuff is going to settle in. But at first, people are going to be, oh wow, I got more money, like you,
right.
Thing,
all excited.
You know?
So do y'all think like UBI or something comes to the United States? I know there's different nations talk about UBI. I don't know if that's going to happen.
UBI, absolutely. Yeah, I can see it. Yep.
I mean, that could be how they implement this stuff through. That could, the CBDCs could be the UBI per se. Just a little speculation.
I just hope it's not like China with the use it or lose it type situation where it's like, hey, you know what? You have to spend this by 2 weeks from now.
That's more like totalitarian way.
Yeah, I hope not. I'm hoping, but you know, you never know. The world's crazy.
Well, you know, because they had a bill, I think, if I'm correct, if it actually was passed, but they put it into the committee. They discussed it. It was going over a bill talking about to go against, I can't remember where it was. I wish I could get it up, but that the Congress was they were asking for to not allow certain regulation that they would use in CBDCs along those lines of how China has done, where getting control and they can get into your identity, you know, take you know, your privacy away from you, and all these other different types of maneuvers that they want to do. They can like almost do like a sort of like a sanctioning on people who they perceive to be criminals or whatever like this. And maybe you say something wrong in social media against what, you know, their policy is, and they come and they lock up your wallet. You know,
yeah, no money for you. Sorry, I don't like that comment. You go sit your time out. They better not do that. Oh, that would be so terrible. Right? Like, privacy? Where's the privacy? Like, no type of freedom whatsoever. I mean, but I get it. That comes with the territory with CBDCs. I'm not a fan, like I said. That's just me. But, you know, it is what it is. That speeds up this industrial revolution, too. So it's like, it gets the ball rolling. Hey, we got a brand new society, brand new way to transact money. So obviously, we know distributed ledger technology can be incorporated in regards to that. So, you know, it has its positives, it has its negatives.
Yeah. Well, most of us, if we know how to if we can use it like off ramping, you know, you got your money on your ledger or your you know, cold drive, and then you boom change it into that, and then transfer it back to where you're going to be using it for any transactions that you got to do right away. Don't just hold your money. You know, like even with, you should look at it even how it is with the banks. If that happens and we got this wallet and we, you know, instead of holding our money there when we transfer in, if or how they allow it, if they don't allow a certain amount to be transferred and they have a limit, then that's different. But hopefully it'll be a freer transaction process, you know, with it, you know, if it happens. I don't know.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. That'll be the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are really dragging this thing out. Like, it is crazy that it's been going on this long. Like,
it's irritating. It's frustrating, man. Like they're harming us as retail investors. Like, we've lost a lot of money just from this lawsuit alone.
Hey, did you guys see John Deaton? He posted in Twitter, and I don't know any other social media platforms, but I think he might have did a video. I'm not sure, but he posted a way about going into getting your voice heard from Congress or your local congressman in your area, and it's a tool that he provides within his what's it called, crypto court or crypto
law.
Yeah. And that the tool is there that it'll connect you to your congressman in your local area with it's kind of like a already made up type of statement, but you just have to agree with it and it's like an electronic signature. It's cool because I did it myself, and if you guys might want to go and do it yourself as well, just to get your voice heard in that manner, then you got to go to his website and you go to where I think it's the area where I can't remember, but if not, go to the Twitter, his account, if you can get in, and he should have it on his feed there. So it's really nice. It's something good to do, I would say.
I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
And one more thing in regards to just what you said, Jay, in regards to the lawsuit, things of that sort. It is also an opportunity, though, if they weren't ready for everything to, start ramping up, for anybody that didn't take advantage. Obviously we know, things went south after the lawsuit. People had negative sentiment, oh, why are we getting sued? Oh, this and that. The way I look at it, some of these larger name companies were also sued by the SEC. What is it? Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Tesla, I'm pretty sure all those. Yeah.
All those have been sued
by the SEC. And then literally, they settled it out, whatever. Next thing you know, at some point, things just took off, however you want to look at it. So, that's how I look at it. I feel like it's an opportunity. Some people take advantage of the opportunity, do the time, do the research, make sure it's the best investment for yourself. But, I think it's a blessing in disguise. I guess we can look at it that way. It's kind of like the silver lining.
Absolutely, it is, man. And I think obviously is a test of a patience, right? And what XRP is going to do, man, and obviously, with the ledger, and you constantly got value going in and out of the ledger, man. As time progresses, and we see all the partnerships, and we see all the ventures that they have built, right, and all the partnerships that's still going on, even in the lawsuit. It's like eventually, man, this thing has the floodgates have to open. Like, there's no that this stuff is gonna last forever. Eventually, like everything comes to an end, right? Even the lawsuit that's gonna come to, and when people least expect it, we're gonna see those floodgates open up. And man, I'm telling you, it's gonna be a sight to see for a select few of us, man. And I'm telling you, it's all happening for a reason, man. I can't stress that enough, but it's all happening for a reason. A lot of people just lack the patience that it's going to take for everything to happen. We're talking about all the money, and you're talking about partnering with all of these different payment processing companies and all of these institutions and all these big players in the financial sector. That stuff takes time, man. And I'm telling you, the people that stick around, that's why I say I just go on. I live my life. I don't worry about it. I don't
forget.
Forget.
I own it, honestly. It's like I create content or whatever, just to keep people motivated and keep people game. But it's like, to me, it don't even matter because I understand what it is that's being done in the background. So it's like, if it's 10 years,
it's part of being an investor.
Yeah,
you have to have resilience.
It's gonna come.
One day too, it just clicks. Like, it just makes sense. Like, everything happens. Like, it's great. And when I had that moment, it was like mind blowing. I'm like, you know what? We are definitely on to something with this. Like, there's something going on right now that people aren't seeing. Like, and it just clicked. I'm sure it's probably similar for you guys as well. So.
Oh yeah.
And this is all historical. This is historical. It's like you can say, like how people was talking about when they had the first crashes or during the Depression. Great grandpas is talking about that stuff when these things were happening. And we're at a historical time. So like we could talk to our grandchildren and be like, yeah, I was there. And it's just something, there's a benefit in that too, because you can down the line with your legacy wealth, leave them something to remember that can stay with them, that's significant in this historical time that we've been. Yeah.
It's so funny you said that about your grandkids or whatever. It's like my son, he'll come in the room and he'll see me watching something, and he's like,
yeah,
XRP again. That's what he's always telling me, and I'm like, yeah. It's like, That's been me, man. My reality for the last 4.5 years. It's just like RP. I'm just soaking in everything. You know, I'm watching videos. I'm creating my own content. You know, when I get time to, whatever. And yeah, my son. So it's kind of funny seeing him. You know, just like shake his head and walk out. But in reality, he doesn't understand that one day this is going to be setting him up. And his
pay for your college, my friend.
Okay.
Everything.
This is having a legacy of their own estate, part of the estate of you that you're going to leave to them. And I mean, it's just major, you know, and that's the beauty of it, just to have the knowledge of that this is a future, a great possibility of your future for you and your loved ones, you know. But that pushes me on, you know, and I try to advise, like you said, King, with my videos to keep people to, you know, be more positive about their future, because even if the price doesn't go up and it takes longer and longer, you still have the knowledge that you retain from knowing. Because like when I said, I came in as just a business person, but I gained a whole lot more knowledge just alone within the few years that I've been invested in. And it's just phenomenal for me, because I see myself, you know, doing business in other areas now, because I was just on focused on my business with my wife, and, you know, it was a small business, and then I had other endeavors. But now, like the technology where things have gone, and digital assets, digital currency, I was like, what? You know, it was a whole nother world. So, you know, it's a lot to go on.
It will definitely open some doors. Definitely open some doors. Well, that's pretty much all I've got. I don't know if you guys have anything else. Definitely been a pleasure.
I got to get going in a little while soon anyway. My wife gave me that signal. It's been good, brothers. I appreciate you guys letting me come on in and talk with you guys in dialogue. This is well needed. I appreciate it. And King,
thank you.
Connecting with you, my man. You've been doing your thing, and shout outs to you. Keep it up, bro. Keep on going. Keep the people going.
Of course. I want to be like you when I grow up. Hey, just keep it coming.
You the GOAT, man. You the GOAT. You got it.
There's a lot of negative sentiment right now. You know, all we gotta do is bring some positivity to these people, because a lot of people, like, you know, they feel like they're beat down and things of that sort. You know, it's all about perspective too. You know, half empty or is it half full? You know, our time is gonna come. I'm not worried about that. You know, just enjoy the show. You know, kick your feet up. If you're still stacking, stack. You know, do what you need to. But it's coming. Just enjoy the show.
That's all it is.
Shout out to you, XRP Clubhouse, man. I appreciate you letting us come on in, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate you all you guys coming on. Like every single one of you, man. Like it's a wonderful experience. I love this stuff. I appreciate you guys so much for doing this, man.
Thank y'all so much. Y'all take care of yourself. Take care of y'all families, like I always say, right?
Hey, be blessed,
gentlemen. Do it again.
Stay blessed.
Man, you guys,
I would definitely like to do this again, man. We definitely have to get back on and do this one day.
Oh yeah, we'll be in contact for sure.
Absolutely.
For
sure. All right, guys.
All right, have a good one, man.
Peace.
Be safe.
All right, y'all too, man.
All right, brother.